The US-Iran agreement is raising hopes of economic relief for India, one of the world's largest importers of crude oil. Analysts say that it could lower import costs, reduce inflationary pressures, and lead to greater economic stability. Rebecca Bundhun reports for CNA from Mumbai.
India's economy stands to benefit if the agreement between Washington and Tehran leads to a sustained easing of tensions in the Middle East. The memorandum includes commitments to restore maritime traffic in the Gulf, which would improve India's access to energy supplies which have been disrupted during months of conflict. The disruptions pushed up fuel prices for households and businesses and squeezed cooking gas supplies. Financial institutions trimmed their economic growth forecasts for India during the conflict. But global crude oil prices have fallen this week due to the US-Iran agreement. That's good news for India, which imports the vast majority of the crude oil it consumes.
I don't think the biggest beneficiary is just oil prices, but it's the entire macro setup in India, right? So, for example, lower crude, a stronger rupee, potentially a lower inflation risk. And, in some sense, it also kind of eases the pressure on RBI in terms of, if inflation is potentially going to be lower, they don't need to necessarily look at increasing interest rates in the near future. So whichever way you look at it, I think the markets are effectively, unwinding the geopolitical risk premium that was built into oil and other assets over the last few months.
India's benchmark BSE Sensex has rallied more than 2% this week, driven by the announcement of the agreement. The rupee has strengthened slightly against the US dollar, hitting a 6-week high this week after plunging to all-time record lows during the conflict. Analysts say significant challenges remain, though. Traffic in the Strait of Hormuz won't resume overnight, and the agreement leaves several issues to future negotiations. Analysts warn that any setback could quickly reverse the recent gains seen in financial markets. Investors have also been encouraged by Wednesday's bilateral meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President, during which President Trump promised to visit India and said the two countries were close to reaching a trade deal.
The only issue is whether, whatever being discussed, whether about a US-India trade deal, whether that get actually, implemented, whether that meeting kind of results in some positive outcome. So from a sentiment point of view, we are already seeing positive sentiment. From the outside, it looks great. It looks in the right direction.
For now, investors are welcoming this week's developments, including that one of the world's most important energy corridors could return to normal. Lower oil prices are already providing a boost for India, but analysts say that economic benefits will depend on whether the US-Iran agreement holds. For CNA, I'm Rebecca Bundhun in Mumbai.